Jai Shri Ram. Oxymorons are expressions where two opposites are put together for special effect. Make sure that you create your own original oxymorons so that your speech sounds interesting, innovative, and effective. Victor Hugo, I have collected a huge number of oxymorons. Victor Hugo uh, once said, melancholy is the pleasure of being sad. Lao Tzu, to lead people, walk behind them. To lead people, walk behind them. And Sarojini Naidu once told Gandhiji to his face, you have no idea how much it costs to make you look poor. So this is the hypocrisy of Gandhiji she exposed. He wanted to look poor and they had to spend a lot of money to make sure that he looked poor. I think life is a comedy full of misery. Admire the original, not a mere copy called art. Okay, that's another observation of my own. So let us see. Poker is a tough way to make an easy living. Poker is a tough way to make an easy living. Our life, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, consists of a complex of inexorable opposites, dvandva. So Gita, Krishna says, Tulyaninda stutirmauni santushto yena kena chitaha aniketaha sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. Rise above the oxymorons. Rise above the polarities. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agamapaino nityam tam stitikshasva bharata. These dualities, these polarities, these dichotomies, dichotomies. Dichotomy means opposite, rich and poor, hot and cold, praise and condemnation, pleasure and pain, joy, sorrow. Krishna says these dichotomies are inevitable. Life is nothing but a complex combination of dichotomies. So if one comes, the other will come along. The day you stop choosing one, then you will be able to tolerate the other. Because once you choose one, the other will inevitably come. When you stop choosing, the other won't come. And whatever will come because of your prarabdha, and you should develop the capacity to tolerate them. So Gita also talks about oxymorons. Ashwatha, in the 15th chapter, Krishna talks about the Ashwatha Vriksham. The word Ashwatha in Sanskrit means that which will not be the same tomorrow. Of course, we call it the tree, Ashwatha tree, the peepal tree, the holy tree. We worship the tree. In fact, every tree is worshipable because every tree is like a saint, sant, not the Christian one. The Christian saint is only concerned in converting or killing. Saint Francis Xavier was the brain behind the Portuguese Inquisition, for which the Pope owes Hindus an apology. Lakhs of people were murdered. And the main agent of the Portuguese Inquisition was Saint Frantic Xavier. And people, Hindus, gullible Hindus are going and praying to him because it's a World Heritage Center. During the 1600s, this fellow, Saint Frantic Xavier, was the main criminal brain behind the Portuguese Inquisition. He's not a saint. So, Dvandvatita Vimatsaraha, Dvandvas. Okay. So, my objective is to Hinduize everything because Hinduism is the only religion capable of uplifting mankind. The others only teach hypocrisy. Somebody said, I am deeply superficial. Yeah, I think that's the case with most people. They are like saucers, very shallow. Even his ignorance, Papu, his ignorance is encyclopedic. Encyclopedic ignorance. Free love is too expensive. In fact, nothing is free, by the way. Anything free is very expensive. Okay. The superfluous, Voltaire said, is the most necessary. Superfluous means something unnecessary, excess. The superfluous is the most necessary. Why? Well, I don't know. You'll have to think about it. Less is more. Robert Browning, a great poet, said, less is more. So, minimalist living. In fact, when you have less of all these amenities, you will be more free to do things that can uplift you, take you towards self actualization. Because otherwise, you will be busy trying to repair the amenities and gadgets that you own. So instead of reaching the destination, you will be stuck on the highway. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Okay. A nation can only experience peace when it is constantly at war. If you want peace, be ready for war. Right? Even the Bhagavad Gita was delivered in an oxymoronic situation. On the verge of the battle, Krishna delivered this peaceful sermon. Yeah. The true dignity of man is his capacity to despise himself, said George Santayana, an American philosopher. If you wish to live, Catherine Mansfield, she said, if you wish to live, you must first attend your own funeral. Yeah, that's what Hindu sadhus do. వాడి పిండం వాడే పెట్టుకుంటాడు. Why? So that he can be detached and start working for the world. Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is the way. When you stop striving for happiness, you will be happy. Confucius also said real knowledge is knowing how much you don't know. Real knowledge is knowing that you have nothing but ignorance. Failure is the foundation of success, and success is the lurking place of failure. I am never alone when I am alone. That's my own quote. I am never alone when I am alone. In fact, I am alone right in the middle of the crowd, because my tastes have become so rarefied. I cannot tolerate the ordinary common man. Sounds arrogant, can't help it. In fact, the Greek word cynic, cynic, cynic actually originates from the word dog. So cynics used to bark at common people because they couldn't tolerate these fellows. Anyway, the word cynic means deeply suspicious, and a cynic doesn't respect or doesn't trust anybody. I think that's a good thing too. You don't have to trust or respect anybody. Yeah, you can respect everybody, but not trust. Let's make that concession. In solitude, be a multitude to yourself. That's a good one, isn't it? In solitude, be a multitude to yourself. Yeah. I have so many things to do. In fact, one of my constant prayers to God is, please increase the day by a couple of hours. 24 is not sufficient for me. Sometimes we may think that mankind has progressed, and the more we advance as a civilization, the more we find new ways to kill ourselves. You see, earlier people were attacking each other with knives and swords. Then came atom bombs, nuclear bombs, and now other things are also there. So many new and sophisticated ways of killing ourselves. So the more advanced, the more lethal, more deadly. Progress means regress. Progress actually means regress, going back. That's why the more people change, the more they remain the same. Somebody said, the Zionist, Zangwill, he said, the Jews are a frightened people. 19 centuries of Christian love have broken their nerves. So Hitler was a Christian. He massacred these Jews. In fact, the word Jew is considered a slur, so we should not use it because it is used with a negative connotation. Jew means one who bargains a lot, or gives loans at very high rates of interest, indulges in usuri, usury. Usurious means extracting compound interest. eh? So that is why even Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice, Shylock was a Jew. So even Shakespeare had this, prejudice, bias, discrimination against Jews, the Hebrews. The Hebrews, the people of Israel, we should stop using the word Jews. I have the utmost respect and regard and admiration for them, because in 1948 the nation was created. Einstein was occupied the post of the president, but he rejected it on the grounds that the post of a president is for a lifetime, an equation is for eternity. So he continued to work for science. Now, from the 450 Nobel Prizes, about 180 or so have been garnered by the Israelites. Just imagine, out of the total 450 Nobel Prizes given away so far, the Jews have claimed, the Israelites have claimed 180. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. That's the kind of intelligence, dedication, diligence, hard work. I have the greatest respect for them. Of course, they have this own thinking and dogma that they are the chosen people, that I don't agree with. And they, Jews, just like Hindus, do not proselytize. There is no conversion. Their reason for not converting is because they feel that they are the chosen people and others cannot therefore be converted. Anyway, that's a good thing. That means the reason is wrong, but the decision is right. I fully agree with that. Hinduism does not proselytize for the simple reason that we believe that there can be an n number of paths to God. Of course, we will condemn adharma. But if somebody voluntarily indulges in adharmic activity, that is his business, because he should be ready to face the karma repercussions of karma vipak. Okay. So the fact is, Hitler was a Christian and he massacred the Holocaust. HOLOCAUST is a word which means the genocide of 6 million Jews, 60 lakh Jews by Hitler. And during and prior to the war, Second World War. But this is not taught in the school textbook. Hitler's religion is not mentioned. Hitler is a fanatical Christian who was simply following the Bible. So, because anyway, in fact, Jesus Christ himself was an Israelite. Anyway, let's not get into that discussion now. But this thing is clear. That lesson should have been taught in school, that Hitler was a Christian. He massacred, he genocided the Israelites. And so, Zangwill, Zangwill, a Zionist a writer, he said the Jews are a frightened people. 19 centuries of Christian love have broken their nerves. This is the ultimate oxymoronic sentence. Meetings are an indispensable way to avoid doing anything. Meetings are indispensable when you don't want to do anything. That's why I hate these meetings. Most meetings should not last more than 10 minutes. Painting is easy when you don't know how. But very difficult when you do know how. Painting is easy when you don't know how. What a great truth, isn't it? I do a lot of painting myself with color pens, and I mix up all kinds of mediums. Color pens and paint and wax crayons, and put all of them together and create something. If it looks good, that's it. What is the definition of art? The definition of art is anything that looks beautiful to somebody other than you. If you say this is art and everybody thinks it is rubbish, kitsch, Kitsch. This word kitsch, it is pronounced kitsch, but the spelling is Kitsch. It means bad art, lousy art, poor quality art, kitsch. Most of our Bollywood movies are pure kitsch. So artists who seek perfection in everything are those who attain nothing. If you seek perfection, you will not attain anything. Krishna, that is why he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajit. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajit. Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena rivavruta. 1848. Please make a note. 1848. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajit. Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena rivavruta. Which means by nature, everything in this world is attended by some defect or the other, riddled with defects actually. But that doesn't mean that you should give up work. Perfection doesn't exist. That is what Krishna is saying. Just as if there is a fire, there has to be smoke. So, defects are bound to be there. This is not a world of perfection, so don't seek perfection. But that doesn't mean that you don't try to attempt to come somewhere close to perfection. It is seek perfection, but realize that perfection is not possible. I think that is the Gita-ike oxymoron. Seek perfection, karmasu, yoga karmasu kausalam. Yoga karmasu kausalam is what Krishna says. Yoga is karmasu kausalam. That means expertise in work or perfection in work. Yoga is perfection in work. So here is a wonderful oxymoron. He again says that yoga karma sukausalam, and then sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi natyajit. So try to reach perfection, achieve perfection, but realize that actual perfection doesn't exist. Because you can be close to perfection but not fully perfect. Right? Everything is attended by some flaw. Okay. Every act of creation begins with destruction, isn't it? That's also true. Like that, you can't make an omelette without breaking the egg. Though I used to eat, but I don't. It's a horrible idea. You are eating the menstrual blood. When you are eating meat, actually you are eating solidified menstrual blood. That's disgusting, isn't it? Stop eating it. And every animal wants to live. You need not become like an animal now. Okay? Be a vegetarian. Like all great travelers, Benjamin Disraeli, a very great historian, politician, Benjamin Disraeli. Like all great travelers, I have seen more than I remember, and remember more than I have seen. Interesting. It's kind of fun to do the impossible, Walt Disney. It is fun to do the impossible. Okay. So let's see. So we'll stop here. This will be the end of the part 1 on oxymorons.